Do I want the Green Bay Packers to trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick, making us one of the best secondaries in the entire NFL, just exploding with talent? Yes. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to episode of Packcast, a podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and this is coming off of many requests for my opinion on the trade rumors that are swirling around Dolphins cornerback, safety, linebacker, edge rusher, basically whatever spot they can randomly put him in, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, Minkah Fitzpatrick, obviously, number 11 in the 2018 draft. I was super high on him coming out of college. I was hoping beyond hope that he would somehow fall to the Packers that year, where we wound up getting Jair Alexander. But unfortunately, he was snatched up by the Miami Dolphins. And after a horrendous week 1 showing, everybody and their mother is trying to get off of the Titanic because it has already hit the iceberg. We are on the second VHS of Titanic right now. The boat is currently sinking, and everyone is trying to jump off, and Minkah Fitzpatrick is just trying not to drown in the freezing cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean. And I can't say I entirely blame him. So, let's talk about some rumors that have circulated over the past couple days. So now rumors came out that Minkah Fitzpatrick wanted out of Miami. Shortly thereafter, Miami said that, hey, if they want to go and try to find some trade partners, go right ahead. And of course, a guy with his level of talent, with his level of potential, considering he was a first-round pick literally last year, there's been apparently a lot of suitors. So names that have been mentioned have been the Steelers, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Seahawks, and the Jets. Now, talking about, in case you aren't following the career of Minkah Fitzpatrick, so in 2008, so when he came out of Alabama, he was obviously a safety, regarded as one of the top defensive backs, if not the top defensive back of the entire draft. In 2018, he played 16 games, 11 of them started because there was an injury, and so he was able to fill in. Had 2 interceptions, 1 pick six, 9 passes defended, 80 combined tackles, 51 of them solo tackles. Last year, they had him play safety and slot corner. As slot corner, he was one of the best slot corners of 2018. Now, fast forward to this past Sunday, where Fitzpatrick split his time at numerous positions. He played a couple different cornerback positions. He played 16 snaps there. He played 7 as an edge rusher and 26 as basically like a linebacker. And so he came out and basically said, like, I am not able to really show how great I am because I'm being used as a Swiss Army knife. And the guy is a very versatile player, but you could understand his frustration. Now, Minkah Fitzpatrick, considering how decimated that Dolphins team and defense is, whatever position he winds up finding himself in, he's probably going to be the best option for them, for the Dolphins. But I can see why he's pretty pissed off. And in addition, it looks like they're basically just tanking next year so they can get Tua or whatever poor soul they're going to wind up bringing in to Miami. And so he's obviously pretty pissed off. Now, why it makes sense for the Packers is because, one, Pettine can use him in a variety of different ways. This is the kind of like player I think like he dreams about. But on top of that, you take a look at who we have, even if we're going to play him at cornerback, right? There are already questions about Kevin King and can he stay healthy. I think this is going to be a make or break year for Kevin King. In addition, you have question marks surrounding Josh Jackson. What is going on with him? He really struggled when he was in man coverage. And so who knows where his future is going to lie, but I'm obviously not ready to give up on him yet because he's still a very raw talent, even though we drafted him last year. And then you have Tramon Williams, who, I mean, since we brought him back, I have called him a Band-Aid in this defense, that he is not a permanent solution. He's a temporary solution to a long-standing problem in that secondary. And Tramon Williams, you know, he made up for it a couple times last week, but he had a couple of very costly penalties, whether it was hitting a Bears receiver out of bounds, pass interference, etc. And so I think when you're looking at it this way, one, you can never have too much talent, but two, there definitely can be a need for him, even if you start slowly phasing Tramon Williams out and making him more of a, you know, every now and then kind of player or a rotational player. And then you can use Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick's the kind of guy that you build a defense around, which is why I'm shocked the Dolphins are even like open to his agent looking for potential suitors. But For Fitzpatrick, I think he would fit in very, very nicely, and he could be moved around to potentially solve some of our defensive woes. Now, early rumors are saying, and again, these right now it's kind of just conjecture, but early rumors were saying originally that the Dolphins wanted a second-round pick, but they could settle for a third-round pick. Now, if this is true, if this is the case, I have no way of confirming that they only want a second-round pick. I would give that up in an absolute heartbeat because I think this guy who was seen in college playing incredibly well, came into the pros his first year, was one of the best slot corners in the entire NFL, and I feel like this guy's potential is just unlimited. His ceiling is very, very high. Get him on a defense that is very young and also coming along very, very nicely. Obviously, we need to see more than just 1 week against the Bears, but I mean, this is the kind of guy that I would be absolutely stoked for the Packers have, and I would totally give up a second round. And if it's a third round pick, a good God, give them a fourth with it too, because why not? But I mean, again, it would be interesting because there's guys already in that position that are already playing for us. But I mean, when this kind of talent comes around, which doesn't come around very often, especially if they're willing to give him away for a second or a third, when he was literally drafted in the top 15 last year, I say you go for it. Now, when we start getting into like first round picks, that's when it gets a little bit dicey because then it's not like it's a super duper position of need. There are question marks at that position, like King, like Williams, like Jackson, but at the same time, you know, giving up a first rounder is a little bit rich. So I think if we can get anything, if we wind up bringing him, which we might not because the Cowboys have confirmed that they have spoken with the Dolphins about potentially getting Fitzpatrick, we might not be in the running for him. But I would be totally for it if it costs us anything but a first-round pick. So second, third, what have you. I don't know, maybe you ship a player in there or two. But I would love Minkah Fitzpatrick on this team. I don't know if Goot's going to get it done because I'm sure there's going to be other teams that are more desperate for it. I mean, you even look at the Raiders right now. You had Jonathan Abrams who went out on IR. And so, like, they need a safety right now because their safety just went bye-bye. So, yeah. There's teams that I think will definitely offer the Dolphins more than what the Packers are willing to give up. But if he winds up being on the team, I think that definitely could elevate our defense even more. And that'd be a pretty damn scary secondary. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think we need him? Do you think that Goot's going to go out and try to get him? Let me know. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. We will be back tomorrow because we will be live streaming the Packers and Vikings game. So keep it tuned in here. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.